Know thyself, 100 battles, 100 victories. That's from Sun Tzu, who wrote in the book, The Art of War. Right after the Civil War, they took all the African slave brothers and they put them in prison. When they realized that they could make money off of them, then they would put them against the young princes and they began to fight. These brothers were so ferocious in their fighting. This is what particularly you young lords understand what I'm talking about. You OGs understand what I'm talking about. Those of you that have been in jail. This is talking about ghetto block. Ghetto block was actually developed by the Nubian nation from Egypt. That's where you get your fighting, your elbows. I'm not talking about Thai boxing. I'm talking about ghetto block. Then from there, 52, 42s, as well as rock and roll. Those of you who OGs understand what I'm saying, rock and roll. God bless his soul, Professor Moses Powell from New York City. Bless his soul, he's gone. He was the first black man to teach the FBI, CIA in New York City, and the first man to go before the United Nations and do a live demonstration. We're talking about mixed martial arts. We're talking about those of you who follow the UFC, we're talking about all-out combat. As well as in Egypt, you see the stick fighting. You hear about it in the Philippines. But in Egypt, they had their form of stick fighting. They had their form of grappling. From there, Comstock, when you see them with the knife. Again, some of you older ones may not understand, but the OGs understand what I'm talking about. They developed the knife system. All the Filipino Isles, that's called the Isles of Negro. These people was Moors. They came from North Africa. North Africa, which is today you hear a lot about, is Libya. And they deformed Comstock. See, all the Africans, what they was doing, they was mixing and mushing, what you call martial science, mushing it together. And by the way, the women were awesome. Hear what I'm saying, brothers? The women were awesome. You wonder why they laughed at Muammar Gaddafi, because he had women as bodyguards. You look at Farrakhan, he got women as bodyguards. You know where they got that from? They got that from African kings, because they knew the women was more vicious in protecting. They have so-called, what you hear about in Europe, women Amazons. Okay, they had that in Africa. We were the first people. If you look at the map, before the Ice Age, before everything was broken up, it was easy for people to come over. They have their form of Salah. They have that in Algiers. They have that. So again, I say, know your history. Know yourself. 100 battles, 100 victories. And if you wanted to see more, oh, by the way, this is called a sarong. It's not a skirt, homeboy is straight. No offense, okay? And you see a lot of African kings in Egypt wearing this here. This is called a fighting sarong. They would have weapons inside of here, rocks and so forth. I don't have the little, matter of fact, when you hear so much about Kung Fu, brothers, listen to me. Brothers, listen to me. We were doing monkey style. We was doing snake. We was doing tiger style. We was doing giraffe, rhinoceros. We was doing all of that before. You only hear about that in Kung Fu. But African art itself, we was doing that.